Hello, now that you've learned about literacy in the content areas of art and music, I'd like to welcome you to health education. Just a couple background facts first. Uh, in the state of New Jersey, students in grades 1 through 12 are required to receive 150 minutes or 2.5 hours per week of instruction in health, safety, and physical education. And that does include recess on the elementary levels. Educators teach large mixed ability groups, especially in middle and high school. They instruct for half a year in health. The other half of the year would be in phys ed. Every 6 years, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, studies health education policies and programs in the nation's elementary, middle, and high schools. The results from the 2006 study showed that school health education can effectively help reduce the prevalence of health risk behaviors among students and have a positive effect on students' academic performance. For example, there was one health study that resulted in, or health education program that resulted in a nearly 26% decrease in the number of middle schoolers who started smoking. In health education today, there's increased emphasis on nutrition and physical activity, with a focus on obesity prevention to help lower the rates of teenage obesity in the country. As far as textbooks are concerned, the CDC study also found that 45.5% of elementary school students are using a textbook. That number jumps significantly in middle and high schools. 78.4% of middle school classes and almost 85% of high school classes are using textbooks from commercial publishers. There are a number of ways to incorporate build literacy and deepen content understanding. Popular magazines, of course, students can look at advertisements and read them critically to build that reading for the world notion that I read about in the critical literacy article by Marie McLaughlin and Glenn DeVood. Popular songs, TV show plots. There's a Red Band Society show that explores similar themes to the popular The Fault in Our Stars. Food labels, recipes, Twitter, especially those unfortunate Twitter messages, could be studied. Guest speakers, especially from the community, virtual or real field trips. Wegmans has a Get Your Class on Track for Healthier, Better Life program, and they invite students and teachers to come in and explore, and then they can write about it when they go back to the classroom. Literacy demands in health classrooms are similar to those in others, but they are also different. The Wisconsin Disciplinary website showed that it's better to take more time to teach fewer concepts and skills. They'll have a better impact. Um, I'm sorry, it's better to take more time to teach fewer concepts and skills. And I think that's been presented in some of the slides reviewed in the other content areas. Health educators need to involve parents and families, so they have a lot of guest speakers, a lot of community fitness and health events. They should be developing meaningful performance assessments where students act out in skits or other scenarios, concepts they're learning in the classroom. Educators need to quickly assess the reading and writing abilities of these large groups of students. They should emphasize critical thinking, communication, stress management, which is becoming increasingly more important, goal setting and advocacy skills in students, and also their significant local control of the health curriculum, uh, where school boards and community members and educators meet together and decide how are we going to approach a unit on reproduction, for example. Integrating new literacies in health class, very similar to what you've learned before. Threaded discussions and Padlet are easy to set up, and it's a free program. Excellent. Let the kids create YouTube videos. If they're making skits in class, why not record them and put them on YouTube? Blend Space is another program. It's easy and it's free, and kids can incorporate all kinds of media into presentations and then display them from the teacher projector, embedding hyperlinks in text. ChooseMyPlate.gov was a very popular website for students to use. Quizlet and other textbook web sources. The Glencoe textbook that I looked at had a lot of different online connections that students could use, and Quizlet happened to be one of those.